There's a species on this planet that figured out how to build cities, wage wars, run economies, and maintain perfect social order millions of years before humans ever stood upright. No leader gives orders. No one designs the system. And yet everything runs with a precision that would make most governments look like chaos. Scientists studying this species kept noticing something disturbing. The patterns weren't just biological. They mirrored the exact mechanics of how human societies function, control behavior, and sometimes collapse. This isn't a metaphor for ants. It's a mirror. And once you see how the comparison actually works, you may never look at your own daily life the same way again. Let's start with the part nobody expects. Ants do not communicate with sound or sight in any meaningful way. They communicate almost entirely through chemicals called pheromones. A single ant can leave a trail that tells thousands of others exactly what to do, where danger is, and where food is located, without a single ant ever making a decision on its own merit. It simply follows the chemical signal. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Human societies run on a strikingly similar mechanism. Except our pheromone trail is information. Headlines, algorithms, trending topics, group consensus. Most people don't independently evaluate a piece of news or a viral claim. They follow the trail other people already left. Psychologists call this social proof, and it was formally studied by Solomon Asch in the 1950s, when he discovered that people would give obviously wrong answers just to match what everyone else around them said. The ant follows a chemical trail. The human follows a social one. Different signal, same surrender of independent judgment. But that's only the first layer. Because ants reveal something even darker about how power actually works. In most ant colonies, there's a queen. People assume she rules. She doesn't. The queen does not give commands. She has no awareness of the colony's daily operations. She exists purely to reproduce, while millions of decisions happen below her, distributed across workers responding to local signals. The colony doesn't need a centralized brain to function with terrifying efficiency. Now apply that to human systems. Bureaucracies, corporations, governments. We assume there's always someone steering the ship from the top. But research in organizational behavior consistently shows that most large-scale outcomes emerge from thousands of small, localized decisions, not centralized intention. The financial crash of 2008 wasn't caused by one villain pulling levers. It emerged from millions of individual incentives, each one reasonable in isolation, compounding into catastrophe. No queen ordered that collapse. It assembled itself, the same way an ant colony assembles a supply chain without a single ant understanding the full picture. This is the first turn that should unsettle you. We like believing chaos requires a mastermind. Ants prove that catastrophic, complex outcomes can emerge with zero conscious design at all. But there's something even stranger buried inside ant biology, something that connects directly to how modern society manipulates behavior at scale. There's a real phenomenon called the zombie ant fungus, Ophiocordyceps. It infects an ant's brain and hijacks its behavior completely. The infected ant climbs to a specific height, bites down on a leaf, and stays locked in place while the fungus consumes it from the inside, eventually erupting to spread spores to the next unsuspecting ant below. The ant has no idea it's being controlled. It believes, in whatever capacity an ant can believe anything, that it's simply doing what it normally does. Now here's the part that should genuinely disturb you. Behavioral scientists have long studied something eerily similar in human psychology, called normalized manipulation. Marketing, political messaging, and algorithmic content are engineered using something called variable reward scheduling, the exact mechanism B.F. Skinner discovered decades ago, the same psychological principle behind slot machines. You don't feel controlled. You feel like you're simply scrolling, simply choosing, simply living your normal routine. But the system shaping your dopamine, your attention, and your decisions was deliberately designed by people who studied behavioral psychology specifically to produce that outcome. The zombie ant doesn't know it's infected. Most people don't realize when their attention has been engineered either. This is the second turn, and it's the heaviest one. Influence doesn't always look like force. Sometimes it looks exactly like normal behavior, because the most effective control never feels like control at all. So where does this leave us? Are humans just ants with better infrastructure? Not exactly. Because unlike ants, humans have something they almost never use enough: the ability to step outside the trail and ask who laid it down in the first place. Ants cannot question their pheromones. Infected ants cannot resist the fungus. But humans can pause. Humans can notice the signal instead of blindly obeying it. That single capacity, the ability to recognize the trail rather than just follow it, is the entire difference between a colony and a civilization that actually controls its own direction. The real question isn't whether you're influenced. Everyone is. The real question is whether you ever stop long enough to notice which trail you're walking and who built it. If this made you see ants, or yourself, differently, drop a comment and tell me what stood out to you. Let me know what city you're watching from. And if you want more stories that connect biology to the way modern society actually works, subscribe, because this is only the beginning.